Hello Year 5. I hope you had a wonderful weekend, beautiful and sunny. And I hope you're ready now for this lesson. Today we are going to be writing calligrams. Now, if you look at the pictures below, we are going to be recreating forms of them, but without drawing them. Instead, we are going to be using words instead. So today we are creating calligram poems. Now, calli means beautiful and gram means message. Calligram use the design and the shape of the letters and sometimes the ink colour, sometimes the paper and the frame to create an effect beyond the message of the words and the letters themselves. So if you take a look at the calligram here on the right, I wonder if you can guess the name of the monument that's been created from the words. Now, we've been studying Paris, so perhaps it is quite obvious. Tell me? Yes, well done. So, it was actually the French poet Guillaume Apollinaire who published a book of calligrams, including a poem about the Eiffel Tower, and that was the poem that you saw just a moment ago. Now, this one is called Il pleut, which means it's raining, in which the words that you see actually look like rain is falling. Now let's take a look at this one. So this is from Lewis Carroll's The Mouse Tale. What do you think it's shaped like? Have a think, pause, and then shout out the answer if you think you know. So what do you think it looks like? Yeah, it looks like a tail, doesn't it? So actually it has multiple meanings. So this one is shaped like an actual tail. This is the way that we spell tail. And not just that, but it's written about the mouse's tail. So here we have a mouse, and it's about its tail. But it's also a tale, and by tale, this tale here, which is another word for story, that he is telling to Alice. So actually the shape of the poem adds to its meaning. Quite often, calligrams express a message or an emotion. So, for example, you may write a poem about a leaf in the shape of a leaf, but you could be thinking about a leaf under a microscope. So then you might be talking about very minute details like its veins, or perhaps how the leaf feels. So when you touch it, it might be rubbery, it might be dry, or it might be crunchy, or perhaps how that leaf falls, it might flutter. Or perhaps you'd like to talk about its shape in the way that it's like a teardrop falling from a tree, or that it's shaped like a heart. In this case, the poem is written in the shape of the actual leaf. In this one, we see that the words take on almost the veins of the leaf. So there are different ways of representing it. Now, in Islamic culture, calligraphy is very important, and it's a well-known fact, as I'm sure that you know, that there are no images of their God. So writing about him has become an art form. Calligraphy is popular because the written text, the Quran, is so central to Islamic culture. And when we look at these two images based on the Quran, they don't really look like text. They're just beautiful pictures. Here we see almost like a whirling dervish, and this. Lovely, beautiful forms. What about this? Take a look at this image. What do you see? Yes, so this is from the Holy Quran, and it's written with Arabic calligraphy in a horse shape. What about this one? What shape do you think this is? Tell me. Yes, you're right. So this one is the form of a lion, again composed entirely out of calligraphy. Very clever. Oh, now, calligrams are also still used today in graphic design, in different kind of logos. So, for example, there's a sporting competition called Le Tour de France, and it's a cycling competition. Can you find the cyclist? I'll give you a moment, pause and then unpause. So did you find him? Yeah, so if you take a look, you'll actually see this part of the image here is a bicycle, and the cyclist here riding the bicycle. What about this one? So this logo here is for the London Symphony Orchestra. What do you notice? Pause and then unpause. Did you notice anything? Good. So we have London Symphony and Orchestra. So here we have the L for London. Then we have the S for symphony. And then we have O for orchestra. Do you notice anything else? Yes, an orchestra is an ensemble of musicians, usually led by a what? Good, a conductor or a maestro. So I don't know if you can see, but here it actually looks like a person holding a baton conducting the orchestra. Now here is a letterscape calligram, and as I'm sure it's a little bit tricky to see, but I'm going to zoom in for you. We have a picture. When we look at it, we can see a man with a house. We can see trees, mountains. What else can you see? Shout it out. Yep, great. The plane, the sun, the moon, clouds with rain, but every element of this has actually been made of words, sentences. So it hasn't been drawn with a line. Every single, even these parts here, they're words or letters. Think about that, because our task a little bit later on is to create our own calligram. You might want to look back at this image for inspiration. Now let's take a look at some calligrams. What do you think they are? Pause and then unpause and we'll go through them. Good, so this one might be about a hat or a woman wearing a hat. And this one, you guessed it, yes, a spider's web. What about these two? Yeah, it looks like a palm tree. And this one? The zebra, yes. Now this one we can read actually. And we all climb to the top of the mountain just to fall down. What do the words look like? Yeah, a mountain, excellent. And this, what do you think this poem might be about? What do you think this calligram might be about? Yeah, so this is a bird. What kind of bird do you think it might be? This is actually a dove, and a dove represents peace. So what do you think the poem might be about? Right, now let's take a look at our task. You are going to create your own calligram. Think about, first of all, what theme or what shape you're going to be writing. And my advice to you would be to keep it very, very simple. Okay, when you first start, you might want to do one and then build up to something more complicated. Here are some ideas. Pause the video and then unpause when you've thought of something. Do you have an idea now in your mind? Okay, let's just take a quick look at the steps to success. So first of all, we're going to think of our shape, which you should have done already. Now, either you're going to fill it in completely in the way that we have here. We've filled the entire body of the dove, or you may want to do an outline in the way that we had here with the woman. So we didn't fill it in completely, it was just the outline of her face and her hat and her body. Okay. Then you're going to write any vocabulary that you associate to the shape or the theme. Then you're going to write some sentences which will become, then you're going to write some sentences which will become your poem. They must be about the theme. Now, as we've written poetry in the last week of school, remember that there are no rules. They don't have to rhyme. You can have run-on sentences in this case. There isn't a rigid structure to this kind of poem. You might want to think about these things when you're writing. How it or how you feel, perhaps sounds that it makes or sounds of the words, the shape of the word or the shape of the thing that you're describing, if it is a thing, a physical thing. Remember alliteration. Alliteration is the repetition of a sound, so lovely lake. Personification is when you compare one thing to, or you give it human characteristics. So, for example, the water roared. Similes is when you compare two things that are quite similar using like or as, and you might want to give it a rhyming scheme if it's applicable. Now, think carefully about how you're going to shape your poem. Like I said, whether it's a solid shape that you're going to fill or whether it's an outline. If it's an outline, draw your outline in pencil, okay, and make sure that the lines aren't too close together because you're going to have to write your words on them, okay. Now, when you're writing your poem, either start at the top of the shape or at the beginning of the poem. So remember to use your best handwriting because that is also an expression of art too. And then when you've finished writing in pen, you can rub out the pencil lines. So let's give it a go, shall we? I think I'm going to write about some stairs. That's going to be my theme. So stairs. Right. What kind of words do I associate with stairs? Let me think. Well, I can go up them, or I can go downstairs. I can bump on my way down. I could fall, so falling downstairs. I might be fearful of falling, actually. Fearful. And I do like that has an alliteration. I could also hurt myself if I fall down the stairs. Okay, that's a lovely onomatopoeic sound as well. Bump. Now, because I'm writing about stairs, I think I'm going to that sort of shape. I'm going to write that sort of shape. So let me see. If I'm going down the stairs and I'm falling. So let me see. Down. Down the stairs. So if you use down, falling, what's another word for falling down? Maybe tumbling. And then if I'm tumbling, I'm also, what might I, if I'm tumbling down the stairs, I might actually shout out for help. T-U-M-B, tumbling. So what's another word for shouting out for help? Maybe calling out. Calling out for help. Here I have maybe my fearful falling. Fearful fall. But though maybe I was okay. I think I'm going to be okay. I'm going to be okay. Oh, I'm going to be okay. Well, I think a nice short sentence there. But I wasn't hurt. I wasn't hurt. Wasn't hurt. What might rhyme with fall? All. I wasn't hurt at all. Okay. So, down, down, down the stairs, falling, falling, tumbling, calling out for help, fearful fall. I'm going to be okay, I think. I wasn't hurt at all. Great. You may want to write out your sentences before you write your poem, because that may be a lot easier, particularly if you're drawing a shape. So for example, if you decided to draw a flower like this, so very lightly in pencil, you've drawn your flower, and then if I pretend these are my words, I would then start writing now. So I've written my words out, down, down the bottom of the garden, colourful, we grow. Snip with scissors for a beautiful vase. Okay, so those are two examples of how you can create your poem. I look forward to seeing your creations. Here are the steps to success in case you would like to be reminded of some features that you'd like to include. Good luck and enjoy. Bye for now.